second place. It's not a sports car or a flashy SUV as Canadians haul in the new year. The most coveted vehicle is a truck. The Ford F-150 was this year's most searched vehicle on autotrader.ca, totaling over 200 million views. Here with me now is Ian McDonald, a spokesperson for AutoTrader. And thanks so much for joining us. Are you surprised by this?
Yes, it can seem surprising at first. As you mentioned, nationally, the most popular vehicle, the most searched for vehicle was the Ford F-150. Every year we take a look at the demand across our marketplace at AutoTrader, that's across our website and our apps, on what kind of cars people are searching for and which are the most popular ones. And then we compare that list each year to see how trends are changing. The Ford F-150 has been the most popular for the last few years. That's both in the new market and the used market. People might find it more surprising if they live in an urban, built-up city because they're not the most practical cars, but you've got to remember that we're looking nationally here, and especially out west, that's where trucks are really, really popular. On the provincial level, 4 or 5 out of the top 10 most popular vehicles are trucks. But that's not to say that the F-150 isn't popular in Ontario as well, it is.
What about the other top searches?
So just behind the F-150 in second place is the Honda Civic, which is obviously a much more smaller compact car, and that is driven by its popularity in those urban, smaller, more confined areas. In third place we have the Ford Mustang, which seems to be a perennial kind of favourite. And then the rest of the list is where we've seen some movement year over year. Those top three have stayed the same 2012 to 2013, but there's been some movement in the rest of the list. So in fourth place is the Mazda 3, and a new entry in the fifth place is the Porsche 911, which is interesting as well.
People just dreaming probably on that one.
Yeah.
Does resale have anything to do with this?
Yeah, so we're looking at the used car market in this list specifically, and that does have a huge factor. When you look at the popularity, the top 10 of cars under $20,000 and over $20,000, it's actually quite different because some cars have much better resale value and they are a better deal when it comes to the used period of their life than others. So that does have a bearing, yeah.
How do you see the trends changing, or do you think they will?
I think we'll continue to see more changes. I mean, the main thing that's most encouraging is that 2013 has been a very, very good year for car sales in the market, both new and used, and that's around the fourth year in a row that we've seen kind of record levels of vibrancy in that market, and that's great because that's a good indicator of economic stability and recovery. So I see continued growth and more popularity and more people buying and selling cars in 2014. I think we'll see Japanese manufacturers making even more inroads. I mentioned the Mazda, the Honda, cars like that are becoming more and more popular. But at the same time, I think the domestic manufacturers are also doing well. So it's going to be an exciting year.
All right, Ian McDonald, a spokesperson for AutoTrader. We thank you so much for coming into studio.
Thank you very much.
The phrase Rocky Mountain High is about to take on a whole new meaning in Colorado. On Wednesday, Colorado will become the first U.S. state to sell marijuana for recreational use.